Hello, fellow readers. I bring to you a very difficult video for me to film. The topic I'm going to be talking about today, I heard about a couple weeks ago, and I was actually very shocked that this is not talked about more in the Booktube community. As a disclaimer, this topic is probably going to be very controversial, so please keep your comments appropriate. And I really tried my best to look for the facts before I voice any of my opinions to this topic. Now, let's get right away to the nitty-gritty. Now, for those of you who do not know, Cassandra Clare is in a lawsuit. A fellow author, Sherrilyn Kenyon, has charged her with copyright infringement, trademark infringement, false advertising, and unfair competition. Now, these charges were filed February 5th, 2016. I first heard about these charges through one of my fellow readers one day while we were discussing books, and it has taken me 2 weeks to gather all the information of the case. Now, this claim starts with Kenyon's book series called The Darkhunter. Now, this book series is copyrighted, trademark. They have spin-off series like The Werehunters and The Dream Hunters. So it is a huge book franchise of around 15 or so books that she started writing in the 1990s, and the first Darkhunter book was published in 2002. Now, Kenyon has gone public stating that in 2006, a year prior to the publication of City of Bones, distressed fans contacted her stating that there is a book series coming out that is using the term Darkhunter. So Kenyon sprung into action and wrote to Cassandra Clare and her publisher to ask her to change the name. The name was then changed to Shadowhunter, and Cassandra Clare and her publisher wrote back to her stating to not worry about it, and they continually assured her that the Shadowhunter term would not be expanded upon. Now, Cassandra Clare's lawyer publicly issued a statement refuting the charges and the existence of such agreements from Cassandra Clare to Kenyon and their publishers. It says that, and there is no physical evidence of these communications actually occurring. And they both state that they have never even heard or read of Kenyon's books. Holly Black, Cassandra Clare's friend, issued her own statement saying that she was brought to attention of Kenyon's Darkhunter book series at a convention in 2006. And when she found out that this was copyrighted, she went to Cassandra Clare and asked her and helped her brainstorm a different term than Darkhunter. And thus the Shadowhunter world was born. Now, the charges that Kenyon and her lawyer have filed springs against this 29-page listing the Shadowhunter name and how it's so close to it. It lists character similarities, plot similarities, even character descriptions and backstories. Even the runes that Cassandra Clare and the Shadowhunter series use are very similar to the runes that Kenyon uses in her Darkhunter book series. Particularly, it is this Shadowhunter rune that everybody knows about and everybody sees. And it has a very striking resemblance to this Dreamhunter mark. It first aired on the cover of Phantom Lover, a novella published in 1999, which the Dreamhunter series, like I said, is a spin-off of the Darkhunter brand, which has all been trademarked. Even though that rune is not the main rune for the Darkhunter series, the main logo is actually a double arrow. They just speak their concern of the similarities confusing readers, publishers even, and libraries alike. Now, reading some comments and blogs and reports about this, I have a couple quotes that go based off of others' opinions. We have a romance novelist and former attorney, Courtney Milan, stating that 95% of what Kenyon is claiming are character tropes and journeys and items from our shared literary background, like the magical sword, mirror, cards, cup. These are all part of the fantasy storytelling experience. So she can't exactly trademark these specific tropes and plots. Another book and culture columnist and author, Laura Miller, states that Kenyon, her real complaint seems to not argue that she invented these traits, but that the similarities between the two series are so significant enough to lead people to confuse them from another, and that is why this lawsuit is coming about. Many comments, just in the comment section, have to add to the spectacle, and it's very interesting still that this is not heard in Booktube, with Cassandra Clare being such a popular author with this Shadowhunter series. Now, upon further research, I did find a whopping three videos of this. Comments on the lawsuit, especially from the articles I have read, are seriously all across the board everywhere. Some of the strongest comments, and even the harshest, state once a plagiarist, always a plagiarist, clinging to a tiger can't change his stripes, an idiom, because Claire has a history of plagiarism. I don't know how many booktubers know about this, but before Cassandra Clare published Shadowhunters, long before, back when she was in the fanfiction realm, she stole script and author lines. Claire followers are on the other side of the spectrum, stating that Kenyon is greedy. The Shadowhunter series was published worldwide in 2007. It has been 9 years since it was published. Why is she talking about it now? Another thing that's really interesting is most comments, they either have read Cassandra Clare or Sherrilyn Kenyon books. They've never actually read both of them. And the few that have read both of them fall into categories. The ones that saw the similarity between Shadowhunters and Darkhunters, and they are really glad that Kenyon had stepped forward. Others saw the similarities stated, but they attributed it to the book fantasy elements, and they also feel that if in retrospect, if they think about the similarities then and there, they can see them, but that's because they're looking for it. However, there's some people that says, I read both books and they are completely different. There is not one similarity. And that mostly stems from the tone and the form of the books. Mortal Instruments is a YA group of angsty teenagers and romantic tension, whereas the Darkhunter novels center around courtship of different adult couples that sit on the sidelines once their book is completed. That being said, as much as these series differ in those key aspects, they are both typical of their respective genres: YA urban fantasy and paranormal adult romance. Now, whether you are Team Claire or Team Kenyon, that is not funny anymore. We really need to stop making teams. This brings forward important issues of plagiarism and copyright infringement. And I would like to ask you guys, what would you do with a prized author that commits or is charged with one of these crimes? Do you continue reading their book or series until after the verdict is reached? Or do you continue reading and purchasing potentially plagiarized content because of innocence until proven guilty? After the verdict then, do you keep reading this plagiarized work? Do you quit cold turkey and never face your beloved characters again? And honestly, it was a really hard decision for me to figure out what I was going to do, because I really wanted to reread The Mortal Instruments so that I could read Lady Midnight. But since this came to my attention, I have decided to not read any more of the Shadowhunter series until the verdict is reached. I do know that I am going to read Kenyon's Darkhunter series, at least the first book, and see if I can come up or find anything that really feels copyrighted. Sure, I'm going to expect possible similarities because of the tropes that I have already read about while looking through the evidence. I am really curious to see if Kenyon has a basis for this case, and I really want to know what this verdict is, what's gonna happen, and how long am I gonna have to wait to find out. Because everything that was posted happened all in February. After that, it's been dead silent. I also want to know what you guys are going to do, whether it's faced with this scenario or one that might possibly end up in the future. What would you do in this situation when you find out that an author you're really interested in reading has potentially plagiarized their work? Until next time, I'm sorry to dump this huge, heavy topic on you. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.